Namaste all, and
Namaste.
welcome to Sahana Vijay Kumar. Uh, Today, Sahana ji is a very exciting guest on my show, very different than the regular people I welcome. Sahana ji is a typical software person sitting in Bangalore, working in IT industry as a data scientist, I believe, and her author in her was looking for an opportunity, and the moment she opened the door, it got the exposure or opportunity, and then she penned down around 3 books as of now, and I'm sure in future many more. And the subjects that she has chosen are really different. That is something we'll talk about, and her inspiration, her motivation, and also why she thought to become an author together with her profession, and also I'm sure like any other woman with her responsibility back home. So all that we'll listen from her. So formally welcome to the Diva session, Sanaji, and
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaskar ji. So first come first. You belong to Mysore, am I right?
Correct.
Okay. And then for work you came to Bangalore.
Yes.
Okay. So you started being a columnist or a writer in 2014?
14 years.
Okay. So how did that idea come to your mind?
It happened all of a sudden, I must say. I kept a close tab on the happenings in our day to day world. I mean, uh, what do you say? History always
Yeah.
interested me, the current affairs,
Yeah.
and all the changes that was happening because the generation previous to ours was very ignorant about so many things because the media was not so open. We had no
True.
other platforms.
True.
So the thought process, the perception of my parents was entirely different. And we were slowly being exposed to a new what era we can say.
Yeah.
So that helped us reach out to a lot of people, or rather, gain a lot of knowledge from various sources. So when that started happening within my limits, I mean, I had very less time because of my work and the other commitments, but I still continued to keep a tab on what's happening, watch the changes that were getting ready to come, because that was the time when the elections were about to they were already scheduled and we knew who the PM candidate was. So we were all waiting for that big change. And it so happened that one fine day, Arvind Kejriwal crash landed into the BJP office of Modi ji. So that was when I was so irritated. I must say, I was so frustrated that I wrote an article in Kannada questioning Kejriwal.
Mm-hmm.
He calls himself Aam Aadmi.
Yeah.
So I was asking him, will you please answer the questions of an Aam Aadmi like me?
Yeah.
And I think that article was the trigger. It was liked by many readers. I got a good number of email responses that it was wonderfully put.
Mm-hmm.
And that was how my column began.
Yeah.
And it was mostly the current affairs,
Yes.
very nationalistic viewpoint.
True.
So that was how it all began.
That's how
So
wonderful.
I am
Uh,
indebted to Kejriwal in a
yes.
way.
Yes. So let's say thanks to him.
Yeah.
uh, and you're absolutely right because the generation before us was not exposed to social media as impactful as we are. And some time back, or I think last week or so, I spoke to Ms. Shefali Vaidya,
Mhm.
and the tag or the identity she has is a social media activist, which
Mhm.
is completely new now. We
Mhm.
knew social activists, but the social media activist is something really coming with the new generation and new government. That's a perfect way to look at it. And now going with your trigger point, uh, how you became an author or a writer, writer first and then an author, I would say. uh, social media is a place where two extremes are available. So one who are pro-Indian and one who are anti-national, and both are equally equipped, both are equally knowledgeable, and though both are equally courageous. And this is one platform which do not have any editorial control and
Correct.
no uh, regularization, like who should say what and to and what extent. So this makes it really vulnerable, and we are seeing the effects of it many ways. Like some people punish, some people um trolled, some people
Yeah.
appreciated also. So, what is your opinion on this?
I am not very active there because of the very point that you said. You put forward a narrative, and in probably a few seconds or minutes, there's a counter to it. We have our own set of evidences, and somebody else comes with that. So my objective is now it's found a new dimension of novels,
Hmm.
which demands a lot of delving deeper into the subject I choose.
Hmm.
So it naturally so happens that when I work on a theme, it involves a lot of travel to that particular place, understand all the philosophical connections that the place has, and then the study of it. Because what has happened is over these many years, I've found that there are so many books that have gone out of print, very
Yeah.
good reference books.
Yes.
So
Yes.
my time is always spent in searching these original sources or trying to get an understanding of what happens. So eventually, if I put that in a novel, it will stay. It will stay for a good long time, and it needs its own way of reading and comprehending, and it's a different process. So
Absolutely.
I am very keen about preparing for each of my themes and go. I mean, you need people to tackle all the lies then and there. I mean, who question and criticize or even prove that your narratives are wrong. So that wing definitely needs encouragement. But as you rightly said, for a person who newly comes in or who is not very clear, there's every chance that he gets confused. He or she doesn't know which route to take. But yes, it's being so helpful now. I mean, at
Yeah.
least we know what is happening, what is
Yes.
right, what is wrong. You just
Yes.
mentioned Shefali ji. We need such activists
Yes.
because else we won't know, because they take
No.
screenshots from the earlier instances, means how a person makes use of things for their own
True.
convenience. You
True.
said this then, now look at what you're doing
Yes.
now.
Yes.
So these things actually make a lot of difference.
Absolutely.
They are important.
Correct. And also, you rightly mentioned that the kind of writing you are doing needs more deeper understanding and homework. And also, somewhere I'm not an author, but I have heard people saying that when they pen down some story, they actually become the character, and that's how they write it. Then only that authenticity and the originality flavor comes to that content. Um, Now come to your uh, 2016, the first novel. Uh, I think as of now, three of your novels are in market. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay, so one is Avsana and Kashira
Is
and
the second.
third
Kshame
one
was the first.
Kshame was the
First was
first.
the Kshame. Yes,
Acha.
yes.
Okay, the first one was the Kshame. So I'm going to talk about all three really in detail because all three subjects I know very well. I have
Mhm.
read those books and I know it is worth it. So the first one, Kshame, it is based on today's generation, especially women.
Yes.
So more about that, please.
Yeah. So, as I said, I mean, we are seeing this change in phase in this generation, and some of us are trying to contend with men. We try to prove that we are equal, we are no less than them. I think all that is not required. I mean, because I'm a professional also, I see that many females who are professionals do a lot more. They are much more thoughtful, or what do you say? They're mature enough to understand where we are getting carried towards. So what is happening is we probably are failing to realize we are unique. We need not compare ourselves. We have our own strengths and weaknesses. So when and the other thing that happened during that time was the Article 498A, if you remember, the anti-dowry harassment
Yes.
one. That was so much misused,
Yes.
and I have seen many innocent boys, their whole families, being simply put into jail
Yes.
without
Yes.
non-bailable warrants, etc.
Yes.
So Kshame was all about the a woman, a protagonist who does not want to take advantage of the fact that she is a software professional. She gets to travel very frequently. She is not. She's bound by our value system basically. So what our today's education superficially makes us feel is that we are very strong, we are empowered. Our jobs do not empower us. I mean, there are housewives who are much more stronger, who are much more capable of multitasking, handling so many things.
Yes.
So the illusion is because I have done an engineering, because I am working, because I travel abroad, I am
Yes.
strong. That's not the strength we are talking about. So all these things actually prompted me. And to be very specific to this topic, in my childhood, I had seen a father taking care of his daughter. They were our neighbors. The lady had quit, she had just gone off one fine day, and the father was struggling to bring up his daughter. The kid would used to come early from the school, and then she would stay at her grandmother's place, and the father with a lot of love and affection. We have seen men doing this as well. I know of so many examples where the men desert, the women are patient enough and they bring them up. That doesn't mean you are trying to take a revenge, or come to a conclusion that everybody is bad. So this 498A was proving something else. And this argument of we are also equal, let us prove it now, let us do this and that because they do, let us counteract. So all these things were actually very much intriguing for me, and the subject came up this way. And I was very much untrained. That doesn't mean I'm trained now, but that was the first attempt. And I wanted to go ahead, and it received a good response. So that gave me the motivation to
Sure.
go on.
Sure. That was the formative stage, is what you call it.
Correct.
Now it is little better, not formative, little confident. On that point, let's discuss more. Um, I have spoken to lawyer. I have spoken to few known personalities from Bharat currently,
Mhm.
who are, as you rightly said, well qualified and decided to take backseat and still show their caliber, their intellectuals, and
Mhm.
bring up the family, children, and also help husband into their social work, into their political career, or even into their business, and at the same time play a role of a mother more effectively and have a satisfied life. Um, so I also spoken to a lawyer who has given the other story what you told me, wherein men became a target just because the law is on the side of a woman, and it was misused, mishandled, and in number of cases she herself handled, wherein she said, "I was with the boy than the girl." So the girl came to me, but I was with the boy
Mhm.
because I could clearly see none of his mistake or
Who was it?
yeah,
Yeah.
who was the culprit.
Mhm.
And uh, so your novel goes which way, like be the way you are or go in the progressive mode? What is that your novel?
You should read it and discover. I
Okay,
should
I
not
read
be saying. I think this is about a person who is rooted to the what do you say, the culture or the
culture.
value system. I think the value system is missing now. There's no way we can inculcate values.
Yeah.
You have to have a strong conscience, or there has to be some upbringing in those lines, without which you can't connect. Or the act of reflection, I think, is now getting weak day by day. We don't reflect too much on our actions and thoughts because we don't have
True.
time. There's one action and then there's the next. So when do we reflect? I think that's what the lady in the novel is about. So she's torn between these two and she finally decides to
Yes,
come back.
come back. Yeah, I think I would strongly recommend to all the progressive women and especially women from a lucrative career to read this uh, novel. And also, not only we are not sitting in a seat of a judge to give you any kind of a final verdict, but we are telling you both sides, and it's for you to choose what is suitable to you. But as just now Sahanaji said, have some foundation, some career, and some moral values. That's only is the survival mechanism. Else you will regret, and then it's too late for you. Um, Second book. Second was Kashira. Am I right?
Correct.
I have not seen Kashmir. Uh,
Mhm.
I During my college days, I had Kashmiri girls in my hostel,
Mhm.
and I have lived with them solid 4 years, and I know their experiences. And by the time it was a time when these people were thrown out of Kashmir, and they were in
Mhm.
Jammu or Delhi or those places, and they were coming from that typical really well-to-do background, and now
Mhm.
the settling down struggle in new places and no education system available, so they were sent to safe place to study
Mhm.
and have their life better future is what the parents were looking for. I also saw a very um, mm, open uh, rejection or frustration in this crowd for the situation they have gone through, for the experiences they have gone through, and the atrocity they have gone through. And I heard those stories. And since then, I could not gather the courage to visit this state.
Mhm.
So you had been there, and you were protected, and all those things. I want you to speak on it for some more time.
On Kashir.
Yes.
Okay. So it so happened that I was reading the life of Adi Shankaracharya, and Shankaracharya goes to Kashmir.
Yeah.
There is this Sarvagna Pitha concept where there are four doors and only the Dakshina Dwara is not open because there's no scholar. I mean, it could be simply a reason to say that the Vakyartha had not taken place with any scholar of the South. But it was very interesting because as much as we say that we are a vast country, but we are one, and we say there is unity in diversity, etc. There's always this philosophical connect, and we do not know. So this interested me a lot, and then I decided to research more. That was the first aspect I began with, and the novel also begins with Shankaracharya and the Sarvagna Pitha backdrop. That's the first one. And with that, I started exploring and I looked into the social, the political, the economical, the religious mainly. So I did read the Quran, the Hadith, the life of the Prophet, just to understand what caused this. Because we say Kashyapa is the one who created Kashmir, and today there are no traces left. You just cannot believe it used to be a wonderful place a few years ago, decades ago. So after doing all the reading, I had a theme. A theme occurred to me, and I thought of working on it. But the challenge here was visiting that place because it was not very encouraging, and nobody in the family supported, or people just said no. It's okay. You can just sit here, and that's what everybody usually does. If they want to write about Kashmir, they refer an article or just Google it out, and but it wouldn't give me that experience. It wouldn't make me feel afraid. The fear factor, I just cannot imagine because I have not been brought up in that. I cannot feel their pain. Of course, by reading you can to some extent, but you just cannot experience it. So you had to be in that place. And then I approached two of my friends, gentlemen who agreed to accompany me. And I went there. and I roamed around places. I met people. I wanted to meet all sorts of people, right from a stone pelter to the head of the command, the military unit. There, you have so many CRPF, you have the Jammu Kashmir police, so I the army. So I wanted to meet all of them. I could do everything, meet the Kashmiris, and then while coming back, I came to Jammu. There's this Jagati township in Jammu. So they have tried to look rehabilitate a few people there. So that township is also worth watching in a negative sense. So I spent a lot of at least a day or two there, 2 days there, and then by the time I came back, the original theme. One thing is I was very depressed because we couldn't have food also. I mean, they were at least used to, my friends, because they were frequent visitors. I couldn't eat my food properly. That was the effect. I mean, just to put it as simple as I can.
Yes.
And then after I came back, it was like the theme I which had initially occurred seemed very much what useless, because it was just about emotional story. It was just about suffering and the pain and the tears. So to write that, I mean, you can get enough material from anywhere. Creating a very emotional story is very easy. What I wanted to do is write in such a way that people, when they read it, get to know the actual history. I wanted to put in all the facts, weave it into a fiction. So the artistic essence of it was definitely compromised, but I had to take a call on what did I want to write. Should I write a story and finish it off, or should I write about Article 370? Should I write about how the sayings from Quran and Hadith were misused? How Muslim is brainwashed, a stone pelter is brainwashed? How the training happens stage by stage? So I think my focus changed entirely after that, and I don't know where the original theme vanished, and it ended up being what it is now. So the experience changed everything.
Everything. Right.
Had I written sitting here, it would have been a very good story, read with your handkerchief and shed a few drops of tears. I mean, that's very easy to do. When it is Kashmir, you can make people cry. There's no big deal in that.
Aram se. Yes.
Yeah.
You mentioned about the township, which is mm, where
Jagati
you
in
spent,
Jammu.
where you
Yeah.
spent a day
Yeah.
or two. Is it Kashmiri Pandit township?
Yes, it is
Okay,
Kashmiri Pandit Township. Yes.
okay. And how is the life there now?
No, that's pathetic. I
I
mean,
see.
every family, the seniors, they have a problem. Their health problems, psychological problems. Survival is a big challenge for them because they are not given jobs, and the atmosphere itself is very depressing. Those who were in government jobs, who are drawing pensions, are good, but they are doing so many sort of things just to survive, and the only thing that is holding them is probably someday they might go back, they might be able to get into their houses or even belong to that place which they have mercilessly been pushed out of.
Okay.
So
I also heard, or as I said, as I stayed with those people, so I also know the actual generation who was at the front line of this atrocity, this hardship. They are psychologically affected.
correct,
And I also know one of my friend telling that her grandmother still wants to open a gate and say that I am going to my house.
correct, correct,
This is not my house. I am going to my house. And that, as you say, brings tears to your eyes when you hear those experiences, when you see them live.
correct.
Um, so now, all we know about Jammu Kashmir state, or especially Kashmir area, is only military exists there,
Hmm.
and no common man can enter that place as a tourist because it's very sensitive. and dangerous also. Is that true?
No, that is not true. There are six, at least when I visited 4.5 years ago, there were six settlements of Kashmiri Pandits who were still in jobs and who did not want to come out of Kashmir for the reason that they wanted to stick to their native place. And for some, job was the very reason. They did not want to go out of the state and they somehow wanted to stick there. The sacrifice they did was for the initial few years, they stayed alone. They left their families in Jammu, elsewhere. And now, after the settlement is built, it began in 2008, I believe. And afterwards, there were these settlements constructed. The one I visited was in Badgam, very close to Srinagar. And there were around 1,000 people there. So, in all, there were about 6 or 6,500 Kashmiri Pandits, some bachelors, some families staying there. And the houses are pathetic. I mean, the kitchen is not even done completely. They just put a slab, and the people whom I visited said in the same house, 3 or 4 families had to stay when they were initially being accommodated. Yeah. So during those initial days, 3 to 4 families were asked to stay in a single house. You know, so one would put up in one room, the other one in the a living room, etc. So they have gone through a lot of hardships, and that is still very evident. The houses are in very bad shape, and they are still managing to stay there. So it's not that there's no common man. Yes, Pandits were also there, and the others were very carefree, and it's become their land now. So
Yes.
that was always there. And the tourists, it was not so difficult, but just that there is a what do you say, a typical paths that they take, or the packages are all pre-approved. You cannot venture into new places. You can't do adventures on your own. You just go to the Srinagar, the Dal Lake, the Shikara trip, and then you go to Pahalgam, Sonmarg, etc. So you just go to what they show you, go to some specific places, and you return. And if there are tensions, they usually cancel. Yes, it's not a very normal thing also, but it was not so difficult to go as a tourist. Especially the Amarnath would trigger some issues because they had yeah. So that has got to do with your religious factor that comes in.
Yes.
But otherwise, you still could go visit some places and return safely. There many friends have gone.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right. Mm. So how big is your book?
I think it is around 378 pages in Kannada.
It's getting translated in Marathi and Hindi.
Yeah. Hindi, it's already published, it's out. I think people have started reading. English, Garuda Prakashan has started the pre-order. From 15th this month, I think it will be delivered.
Okay.
And Marathi, Mehta Publishers had just approached, so
Okay.
probably next year sometime it will be
So
out. Yeah.
out.
Avasana is about the filial philosophy that we have, the parents and children relationship. There is a gap now. Who's becoming more or less tolerant is a very open question. I have visited a few old age homes just to understand what's happening. It's not the money. It's mostly the lack of understanding both ways. And if we keenly observe every place of worship, for example, Avasana is in Solapur, or you say Sholapur, I guess, Sholapur. And Pandharpur is the central theme there, the philosophical theme. Because
Aspect of
correct. Because Pandharpur is about the worshipping the parents. It's the story of Pundarika, who makes Krishna wait. He throws a brick, wheat in Marathi, and therefore he is Vithala. Because Krishna is waiting for Pundarika to come back
yes.
after having attended his parents. Yes, they say from so many yugas, Pundarika has not yet gone back to Krishna, and Krishna has been waiting. Yeah. So this is very interesting because Pundrika is busy attending to his parents, and he's making the Lord wait. So this actually attracted me, and I had been to that place, and I visited a few old age homes also. The other thing was the Kamathipur. Kamathipur, from what I've seen, is portrayed in a very different way. That women are being what do you call subjugated. They are forcibly put into that place. When I spoke to them, I discovered something else. I mean, I saw that many were willingly doing it. Many were doing it because they had been introduced to it once and were not able to get out. So the protagonists are two in that. Satya, who is the son of a sex worker of Kamathipura, he comes out of it. He is brought up in an ashram. He realizes the value of parents. So it's about his quest for parents, quest for father, to be more precise, because he knows who's his mother, but he doesn't know who's his father. So that's when there's a conflict between him and the other person, Vishal, who has numerous complaints about his father, the way he's brought him up, or the attitude of his father in general. So what happens when two such characters meet? What are the conflicts, and what is the turmoil that happens within? So this is a quest of so many things, and Avasana literally means death. So there are different inferences that you can draw based on what happens there. So this was a topic that was intriguing me for some time. So again, I just went deeper into it, and that's how it happened.
And who is Satya?
Sorry?
Satya.
Satya is the son of the Kamathipura lady. Chandra is her name. Satya is her son. He is idealist, a hardcore idealist, and he works under Vishal, who is the entrepreneur, as you were mentioning at the beginning.
So, Sanaji, you also did good research in our scripture, in our culture, in our Shastra, and I see you have a lot of inclination towards it. And just now you mentioned in the beginning that you read about Shankaracharya's, Adi Shankaracharya's visit to Kashmir, and that's what inspired you to do the research on this subject and also write a novel on it. So something about that. What is your observation or information on our scriptures?
Shastra, which was discovered by Shama Shastri in the beginning of 20th century, 1909. We do have, and for example, Ashoka's edicts, James Princip was the one who discovered those in the 19th century. We have all the evidences, we have all the documents. It's just that they were buried deep somewhere because of all the invasions that we had. And now, fortunately, people have become aware and they've started digging out the details.
Yes.
So when we began, you mentioned about the social media activists. Now all these pieces are slowly coming out. People are referring, they are quoting, they are going to the source documents, and they are taking out the screenshots. I think we are doing a good job. And when somebody chooses a specific topic, for example, what I did is for Kashmir, I had to address all these aspects. So I did an extensive research of all these. I got some books from Jammu, Sharda Granthmala. So people are contributing in their own ways. So I take a theme and delve deep and get all the information. That's my way. But on social media, people are doing it in a different way. And there are these articles that are coming up now, introducing people to the Sanatan Dharma and our culture. And we have started quoting everybody. We have started looking back. I think that's a very good development that has come up now. What the last 2-3 decades, especially, and thanks to Sitaram Goel and Ram Swarup ji. because history is now being reread. And in the textbooks, in our children's textbooks, when they say this is the thing, no, we correct them. They know the true history. So they know what they're reading is just to score marks. And all credits to Sitaram Goelji for that. So we have so many books now. They're all available. They are in print. And it's only a matter of probably a determination. It's not that everybody has to read. Some can become experts in that, subject matter experts. They can start sharing the information, which is actually happening now on social media. Somebody writes an article and it's widely shared. So this is happening now. I think we are already doing a great job.
So it's nice talking to you, Sahnaji, and all the very best for your future books, your writing assignments. And it was a pleasure and privilege to have you with us. We enjoyed the session thoroughly. I hope you also liked it.
And all the very best for all the noble things that you are doing. So it's very encouraging, and definitely we'll stay in touch.